This video is about Dereck Delboy Chisora. So let's get into it, shall I? What can you say? How good is Dereck Chisora? He's been beaten by Tyson Fury, although he was unfit and out of shape. Doesn't matter. Tyson Fury still turned up. Tyson Fury was in shape. He was in better shape than Chisora. Won the fight, and he outboxed Chisora. If Chisora was fitter, he could have got closer. He may have done. Who knows? He wasn't in shape on the night. Tyson Fury took his opportunity and beat Dereck Chisora. End of conversation. Next fight, Vitaly Klitschko. Okay, Vitaly Klitschko, reigning heavyweight champion of the world. A lot of guys before the fight, a lot of experts said Chisora would get blown away in a couple of rounds, and I remember, like I said in a previous video, before I'd met Dereck Chisora, I did a video previewing the Vitaly Klitschko Dereck Chisora fight, saying that Dereck Chisora would give Vitaly his toughest fight, and I truly believe that Chisora had a very good chance of causing the upset, simply because I thought that Chisora with his head movement would get inside of Vitaly, rough him up and make it difficult. Vitaly showed great footwork for that fight, the great left jab, and there were moments of where Chisora lacked experience at that level, and Vitaly was able to overwork him or outwork him and outbox him again. So Chisora put up a brave effort, but at the end of the day he lost that bout. And he was in good shape. He was in very good shape for that fight. If you look at Chisora for that fight, he was in very good shape. And then we have the fight against Helenius, who a lot of people said, oh my god, Helenius is going to knock Chisora out, blah 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 blah. And Chisora went out and manhandled Helenius. And why they haven't overturned the decision, I don't know. So Helenius is the mark of how good Chisora is. When he's very good, that's how good he is. Helenius hasn't been beaten, but he's nowhere been the same fighter since he's come back from injury. So we don't know how good Helenius is. We just know that he's knocked a lot of guys out, but he's sort of fringe world level. We don't know really where he's at. So until Helenius really gets beat, we don't know. Could he beat a Tyson Fury? Could he beat a Povetkin? Could he beat a Vladimir Klitschko? Who knows? Until he takes those fights, we don't know. So he's due to fight Michael Sprott. That will not give us any other further answers for me. But I have to do a prediction about that. This is about Delboy Chisora. Anyway, so then we've got our friend David Haye, Mr. David Haye, former undisputed cruiserweight champion of the world and heavyweight champion of the world. And I tipped Chisora to be too strong for David and to be able to stop David. But something went wrong in that fight. Now, a lot of people think that Chisora wasn't in the same shape that he was against Vitaly. Now, I think Don Charles has made Chisora into a better fighter, but I believe, from what I see, Chisora's style is far more suited to guys that are taller, giants. His style is more suited to fighting Klitschko's, be able to roll and get inside and fights hit the top of his head rather than hit him flush. And I believe one of the undoings for this fight against when he fought David was because they were about the same height, and no longer was Chisora punching upwards, but he was punching somebody's own size, his own height. And if you look at the right hands he was getting hit with, and the speed that David was hitting Chisora with, I mean, I'm not so sure if there's any other heavyweights out there that will be hitting Dereck with that sort of speed and explosive power. And David's experienced. He's fought at world level on a number of occasions. Nobody can say David Haye's not world class. He is. Yes, he came on stuck against Vladimir Klitschko, but not many people beat Vladimir Klitschko, to be fair. and it was down to tactics for David. So Chisora gets knocked out by David Haye. So was it because Chisora is out of shape for that fight? Did he fight mad at that fight? Well, in terms that he just fought crazy, and the whole occasion got to Dereck. Who knows? Bottom line is he got knocked out by David Haye. So if you look at his record and the losses he's had, it doesn't really look good for Del Boy. But me, like a lot of other fans, love Dereck because he's, like, as he says himself, he's a sort of John Wayne character. He's a personality that is sadly lacking in boxing, in British boxing at least. He's a personality. He'll fight anybody. You're not going to say, oh well, Dereck Chisora's scared of fighting this person. You could throw Dereck Chisora in with anybody in the heavyweight division. It's not a case of he'll be scared. You know, he's not one of those guys. You think, oh, he's ducking this guy. You won't hear Chisora ducking anybody. Chisora will fight anybody, which is a good thing and a bad thing. Good thing is, you know, he'll turn up and fight anybody. Bad thing is, there are certain fights that Dereck needs to stay clear of for now. And it sounds it sounds like I'm contradicting myself, but at this point in time, I think Dereck needs to avoid a fight with David Price. I think he could beat David Price, but I think Dereck needs to get some confidence. He needs to build confidence. Just like everything in life, I believe getting yourself into the habit of winning is a good thing, and I think Dereck wants to put himself back up in world level. For me, Dereck needs to get himself some winnable fights, and there were a lot of winnable fights. And I remember sitting down at Nando's talking to Dereck about potential opponents he could have fought to build his resume in America, likes of Hasim Rahman and Evander Holyfield, and you know, guys that had names but yet were winnable fights. Even a Tony Thompson you could fight, you know, but he's been in the fights that he's been in. You know, I think that he needs to, they're talking about now him fighting Manuel Shah. Now Manuel Shah, he's got a winning record. Yes, he got beat by Vitaly Klitschko. Got stopped controversially on cuts. I'd like to see that fight get into later rounds, see what happened. I'm not saying Shah would have beaten him, but Shah's come back with a win the other day against some guy Arich. Shah stopped him around. So Shah can punch. Dereck Chisora is now back in the ring with somebody who is going to be similar height as him, and there's a real danger here that Dereck Chisora could develop a journeyman mentality. He could be a stepping stone for guys who want to go on and fight for the world title if he's not careful and if he's not carefully managed. These are my concerns. He needs to get himself back into winning contention, and Manuel Shah is a good win, but Dereck, brother, you need to get yourself in shape. I mean, like the sort of shape you were in against Vitaly. Really, seriously, you need to get in shape and focus and dedicated. You know, you can tell everybody in the world that you're a gunslinger and you're John Wayne and stuff, but at the end of the day, people need to know, people need to see you producing the goods. You need to beat Manuel Shah and beat him convincingly. And you know, the comeback fight you have, that needs to be a convincing win. You know, Shah, a convincing win. You know, no doubts. Let the Helenius fight be a stark warning to you when you go and fight in Germany. What can happen? You're going back to Germany now. There can be no excuses. You've been knocked out by Haye. You've been beaten on points by Helenius, even though you won that fight. You've been beaten by Vitaly Klitschko. There can afford to be no more losses. So training has to be meticulous. And you know, what I don't understand, you know, is the world is Dereck's oyster. He's got all the opportunities in the world. It's a matter of whether he wants it and whether he's good enough. Is Dereck Chisora good enough? That's the question. They're saying, oh, well, Chisora can beat this guy, Chisora can beat that guy. Based on what? And I'm just speaking real here. I'm speaking real words. Not I'm turning, but you know, you can't be biased. You just got to be honest. And Dereck's best wins, we can't say the Helenia fight because it's not a win. Dereck's best win is against Sam Sexton and Danny Williams. Carl Baker. Being honest. That's it. That's the harsh reality of it. And when you look at it like that, like I said, there's a real possibility that boxing, as much as it's physical, it's mental. Is Dereck Chisora, in his mind, mentally, a man who believes he can be a world champion? Or is he a man that believes he's just a gunslinger and a John Wayne will fight anybody? Because a journeyman will fight anybody and will give him a tough fight, but won't necessarily win a fight. And this is key. 2013, Dereck Chisora needs to have his head on, or he will be. He's not far from being called a journeyman. He really isn't. If Manuel Shah beats him, then what happens? Where do you class him? So what it really is, you know, serious stuff. And I just hope that Dereck is thinking to himself he can still be champion, that he's not discouraged by the situation in Germany with Hellenius. He's not discouraged by being knocked out by David Haye. In fact, the knockout by David Haye, because a lot of the things around, when I attended the press conferences, a lot of the talk by Frank Warren and by people around were like, Dereck's got a great chin. He's got a great chin. He's never been dropped. He's never been knocked out. And even I fell into that hype when I was asking people, members of the public, and Colin Hart and John Walling, and you know, asking these guys about Dereck's chances. They all said it was down to having a great chin. So, you know, that he doesn't rely on his chin, that he has got good boxing, he does move his head, that he does come in shape, that he's disciplined, sticks to the game plan. There must have been a game plan going into that fight against David Haye that Don Charles had set out. And in fact, I know there was a game plan, having watched Dereck spar and train. But for some reason, when Dereck got in that ring, he was unable to execute. So, it's just some thoughts to consider. I look forward to doing a follow-up interview with Don Charles early 2013. Don, I hope all is well. I look forward to speaking with you soon. It's exciting times for Team Chisora. Shout out to John Ramos as well. His fitness and strength and conditioning coach. You're gonna have to get the boy into shape, man. You really have to get Dereck into shape. You know, and let's just hope that Dereck is on the ball for 2013. Well, those are my thoughts. Might be slightly harsh, but as a fan, I want Dereck Chisora to be a world champion. Absolutely. You know, he's got all the personality in the world, and he can fight, and he's got the heart. Let's hope that the David Haye fight was a blessing in disguise, and that he comes back a better fighter. And let's say it's Dereck Chisora Mark II.